a little bit defensive, but as soon as they got into game number 1, we saw them high flying plays, a lot of pressure. Space Station couldn't get out of their half, and then we see a play by Ignite here where he backflips off the goal line for a back pass to Remco. So we thought this was all on purpose, but Metzenorus kind of blew it for Ignite and said it wasn't on purpose, but the pressure was there.
Exactly.
And then finally, we start to see a little bit later on that like Space Station tries to find some form. Here we still see some pressure from game number 2, where TSM is just swarming Space Station. They actually came back from 1-0 down to win that 3-1. But then you got plays from Sipical. This is one of the few highlights from Space Station. But watch this ceiling shot. He actually gets bumped a little bit by Remco there. Still gets the flip. Gets the double tap by Ignite, an incredible goal. And then it was 10 minutes of shutout defense from Space Station until the end of game number 4, where Sathu, he's got 100 boost. He just picked up. He has all the time in the world. And he kind of lays an egg. He throws the ball directly middle, and it just sits there for like 4 seconds because he's the only one back. Remco gets the easy finish, and TSM takes that series. And that is also why Space Station probably dropped out versus Method. They had to bounce back right away after that series. Very difficult to do.
Yeah, that's a tough goal.
Yeah.
Tough, not goal, but situation to be able to come back from, because everybody knows the guy's better than that. He can get a better touch than that.
You can see it on their expressions. Like, as soon as it happened, he was just like, did that really?
Yeah,
that's how it's going to go down?
It's like, that's how this ends up all at the end of the day. But sometimes that is the way the cookie crumbles here. You know, Turtle, we had a series there between G2 and Complexity.
Right, and we heard JNAP say in the interview that when Rizzo is feeling confident, I mean, look at this. That I don't even know that was planned, but when Rizzo is feeling confident, the whole G2 team just excels together. Rizzo, the first game, was popping off completely. And right now we see him after he takes the boost and goes in for the demo, just going for the extra rotation to get even more of a better play, and it was just phenomenal from him. And then Complexity strikes back, and then so many open nets. It felt like G2 got so much confidence in the first game, and then they just kept pushing forward, and the over-aggression was capitalized greatly by Complexity here.
That huge Game 3 overtime win, just momentum was swung in Complexity's favor, but then JNAP's just 20 seconds into game number 4. Look at this impossible angle. This didn't hit the post. Like, that was going in no matter what. Flakes cannot make the save, and the momentum just swings back to G2, and then they find that win. Then it's game 5 overtime. JNAPs, he gets the bump on Magnus, and Rizzo finishes it off.
It really just felt like a complete team effort. Everybody there was popping off. It felt like every individual game, we had a specific player from G2 showing their skill and their talent. But then, like I said, Rizzo was sturdy the whole way through. And I just want to emphasize that, like, literally when he was feeling confident, that's when we see G2 at their best.
Yeah, and, you know, there was a whole lot of highlights there, but not a whole lot of Chicago coming out from that. And I can't help but wonder, you know, is that a good or a bad thing here for G2? And the fact that he is maybe not that leading scorer or that leading threat on the offensive front here for this roster, does that mean everybody's showing up well here? Or is it maybe, you know, a little bit too quiet, and that could be concerns for G2 throughout day 2?
So I think this is just their transitional period for the World Championship. I feel like they're really trying to figure it out. So Chicago, maybe not that much action, but I think that's part of the plan, right? They want Rizzo more involved, because then they get confidence. And we heard from JNAPs, when Rizzo starts to speak and starts to yell out, he's very quiet, everyone gets hyped up, right? So it seems to be working for G2.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. I mean, you don't want to always rely on Chicago, especially if he's going to be quiet and they're still going to come away with a win, especially against a peak performance Complexity like that. It's a good sign.
All right, well, we're going to need to keep showing good signs, because they are, in fact, going to be our first series here today on our stream. It is going to be G2 taking on that of Rogue, and it is a juicy one. Everybody, you know it. You've heard of it. Kronovi going up against his old roster here in G2.
Oh, man. It's going to be so much fun. We saw it yesterday with Prime Thunder going against Rogue. Now Kronovi gets to go against G2. And let's not forget that Kronovi built that team. He built G2, and then he gets stabbed in the back and gets kicked off his own team, and he has to go over to Rogue. But we see the boys here. They had a great showing in their first series. Then it was a very close series versus RBG, where it went down to Game 5. But AJ put in 4 or 5 goals. We're not sure exactly how much, but he popped off in game number 5, gave Rogue the win, and that's why they're here today.
And the interesting thing was that Wonder and AJ said that they had to react to Kronovi, so it was how they could adapt to Kronovi's playstyle, which is interesting, as Kronovi being the new guy, how they were able to transform themselves and become, you know, I guess a more centered team around him.
And when you're on stage and you see Kronovi, he's going to pop off, right? He always pops off. He's been popping off this entire season. When Rogue was 1-4 and we weren't sure like if they would make playoffs, he was still showing up in every single series.
And even though Kronovi can always be the man to pop off, we've already raised a bit of a point when you go up against G2, and that's the fact that if you find yourself in game number 5, that you're going to have a difficult challenge. So it's now kind of the debate, you know, is it the game 5 factor of G2 or the, you know, clutchness of Kronovi.
And let's not forget that these guys made it through the upper bracket, so this is supposed to be an easier game for them versus Rogue. But these guys, throughout all of league play, obviously G2, they finished 6-1, but they wound up finishing in the same exact spot, tied for third with Rogue. But right there, Rizzo, he was huge in game number 1, and of course that game 5 overtime winner. He did have some mistakes here or there, but he's playing extremely well, and that's what we want to see, just him on the offensive side. And then J-Naps, without that game 4 performance, he had that impossible angle, plus that bump play. Without that, they probably lose that series.
And I'm ready to see another mechanical genius shot like that again from J-Naps. He has the skill. He does it like it's casual. Like,
it was wizardry.
We heard him talking about it. He's like, oh, I just wanted to get, throw this at the net. Like, it wasn't even a big deal.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, the fact that he was able to even threaten that shot. Like, getting it somewhere near the net, understandable. Maybe out in the midfield so somebody else can take that shot. But he's like, no, I just got the whole thing.
It didn't even hit the post.
I know. It's still breaking my brain a little bit on that remaining shot. And I think the biggest thing for me when watching all of yesterday's play, yes, we had great moments out from Rizzo, but I can't help but feel like we've seen that in the past. The one thing that for me when I look at G2 and I go, this has been missing for some time, it's the knapsack. And I feel like we got a lot of that there from J-Naps on yesterday.
Yeah, my one question mark now with G2 is they're trying to play hyper-aggressive. We saw that in games 2 and 3 versus Complexity. All those goals that were scored were wide open nets. So you can't give these free goals up that often. It worked out for G2 in that series, but they got to find a balance, right? And I think that's what DreamHack Dallas is all about for them. They're trying to find that balance so they're ready for the World Championship.
Yeah, and the J-Naps that we have on the other team for Rogue, I think is AJ. We've seen like the insane flip resets he's gotten, the mechanical skill he has, and he came up here with the interview and he was so quiet and calm and collected, and he was like, I'm not that good. But if he has confidence this match and can go in with, the idea that they're going to win, I think he's definitely going to pop off.
Yeah, I have this weird feeling that if Rogue walks away with this series, AJ is going to be a huge part of why they ended up doing it here. But now it is, again, in the words of Leaf, for the most important part of the show. It is our predictions. The clutchness here of Kronovi and friends on Rogue, or that of the Game 5 factor in G2.
So let's not forget, week 2 of the RLCS, Rogue was still kind of down in the dumps, and they took it to Game 5 overtime. It was 0-0. G2 wins that because, of course, it's Game 5. But I'm still going to go G2 here because I expect this to be a very close series, and G2 does not lose Game 5s. Going G2.
Yeah, I mean, just the way they looked on stage, they seemed pretty calm, collected, and I think Chicago, like you said, he was quiet last series. I think he's going to pop off this series. I'm going G2.
Yeah, and I sit, it's hard for me to go against the fanboyness that I have against Chicago. So I actually sit on that same side. And the biggest reason is not so much we didn't get that much from Chicago, but it's like if you watch J-Naps and Rizzo and they're that threatening, eventually it's going to rise within Chicago, or I expect it to. And when that does, that's a roster to look out for I feel like every team within this tournament.
And that is the best part, is when you have a star player and he's quiet, but you still win.
Exactly.
We see here G2 67%, 68% now. It's moving up. And also Rizzo, the last Texan left in this entire tournament. So he's already like a national icon for Rocket League, and everyone roots for him anyway. But now he's actually on his home turf as well, so have to go G2.
Well, we got two other people who might have an opinion on this. It's going to be none other than our commentary crew here with Corelli and Achieves. Guys, what are your thoughts on such a dramatic here matchup to kick off day number 2?
I feel like it's a lot closer than you might think here with G2 coming out. They had a tough series against Complexity, but Rogue have shown to be formidable so far.
Yeah, they have a couple of things they can take advantage of. Again, Chicago was fairly quiet yesterday, so I think Chicago is actually going to be the guy who have to step up, even though we got a lot of J-Naps yesterday. So if J-Naps keeps popping off and Chicago latches on, then Rogue might be in trouble.
Guys, I'm ready for it. Let's go ahead and kick this thing off. I want to see it.
And we will kick things off with game number 1, G2 taking on Rogue. We've talked about the storylines. We've heard the casters' predictions. We even saw chat's predictions as well. Everyone in favor of G2, so everything against Rogue so far.
Yes, against Rogue. And that's fair, but it was an incredibly close game yesterday. We saw some good things out of Rogue as well. Kronovi had a good showing yesterday, but AJ has also been popping off for a while now for Rogue, and he's really the guy that, you got to look to be successful against G2.
I really feel like AJ is the X factor here for Rogue. You can get him going. They find success. And if you saw their game off stream against RBG yesterday, it was one of the last games here at DreamHack Dallas for day number 1. And it was AJ who took over game number 5, scoring goals left and right for his team. And I feel like you can really get this man going.
But of course, there he is, Rizzo. He had a big day yesterday, and it would be good to see him continue to have that level of success, and we'll see how things pan out here.
Gibbs criticized him for not having enough goal participation throughout the season.
He got 100.
Well, he got 100 in 3 out of 5 of those games yesterday. We'll see how he does here against Rogue. get things kicked off. Start off day number 2 of DreamHack Dallas. G2 and Rogue. Kickoff goes in favor of Rogue. This ball bouncing on the goal line. Scary situation for G2 right off the bat. Rogue coming out with that pressure quickly downfield and still in possession are Rogue. Chicago's going to cut that one off. The shot comes through from JNaps. So G2 having their chance now on offense. Here comes AJ, high flying, uncontested, does get the touch. JNaps, though, clears that one away. Shot comes by from Kronovi, actually passes it out to Wonder, and we've seen the passing plays come through from Rogue. The demolition comes out, and a big miss comes through.
But Rogue still in command here out of the midfield. Definitely testing that G2 defense, still looking for those passing lanes. Kronovi has a double tap, not able to get it past Rizzo. Kicks it out to the side, and now we'll finally transition out of defense for G2.
A big dunk from AJ. Nobody's home for G2 and Rogue. They strike first.
Trouble yesterday versus Complexity with this. Off the sidewall, Chicago, he might have been able to actually beat AJ there, but just didn't quite make the read quick enough. AJ takes the better angle, has the open net, and Rogue on the board.
Well, we said it. He could be the X factor from Rogue, or for Rogue, excuse me, and he comes out with the first goal. And there have been plenty of chances so far from Rogue. Kronovi had a close one. G2 yet to show some scary offense. Still early. A big touch comes out. This one off the back wall, and it's Wonder who receives it. What a read from him.
And brilliant vision as well. Kronovi, a solid pass across, uncontested for AJ. Chicago has to deal with a lot there. He's got to maybe think, stop the pass, stop the shot, can't pick either, and just perfect execution from Rogue on that transition.
Everything working from Rogue, and give credit to Wonder. That's a tough read coming across the goal there. With the pace on the ball, he had to be perfect to put that one away. G2 left standing, looking at each other, asking what happened. So a 2-0 lead opens up for Rogue, and they're still on the attack. Here comes Wonder. Now Kronovi's up. They're both up. A big save comes out from Chicago.
And finally, maybe a little bit of room there. Actually, Rizzo had to wait a few moments because it took that nasty hop. Second chance now in the corner. Can't get through Wonder, and this Rogue pressure has been pretty difficult for G2 to break down and hold on to the ball. They might have a chance here. JNaps can't cleanly win it. Kronovi in a race with Rizzo on the way back. Chicago gets in the way, but he still cuts everyone down, and thankfully Chicago able to get there in time. And G2 scraping by right now in game 1.
And Rogue feel like they're playing at a different level, a different speed right now. The G2 coming out a little bit slow. But a couple things coming together for G2. They are finding themselves in the final third, but really not putting anything on target so far. Rogue finding a lot of space on the transition, and again, it's Wonder downfield using all of his boost, can't get the touch. Now here comes G2 at Chicago. Can he drop it down? He does! G2 on the board for the first time.
Give himself a ton of time here. Rizzo, a nice little lift, and just a perfect touch from Chicago. Wide open backboard. Gotta get it under AJ. A soft tap, and we'll be locked at 1.
The Des talked about it. Chicago having a quiet day number 1. Getting the first goal here for G2 in beautiful fashion. Only halfway through this game, and a big miss here on the Rogue side. Rizzo goes over one. And Rogue slowly working their way out. AJ uses that flip to move it downfield. Now Kronovi. G2 now trying to counter downfield. Chicago, he's got support in the midfield, cut out by Wonder. Rogue doing such a good job to just cut things down from G2.
I am really liking their passing as well, but here's a chance for G2. JNap's not able to get through AJ, but Rogue's vision, always able to find a pass. Here's another one into the middle. Chicago can't handle it, and that will be 3 now for Rogue.
Just as you said it, Chiefs, the passing comes through from Rogue, and we saw it yesterday. They had great passing plays. This one just off the back wall. That last defender is dead to rights there. There's just nothing he can do, and AJ slams that one home for Rogue. A 3-1 scoreline opens up for Rogue here in game number 1.
And Chicago's been put in a couple of tough spots on defense in this series already in game 1. Yesterday, JNaps pulled him out of a lot of tough situations versus Complexity, and now not able to muster the same level of defense here against Rogue. We'll see. They still have plenty of time here to find 2, but And they hang on to the ball long enough. They're doing it pretty well here in the corner. Rizzo out to the middle. Slow touch, and they kind of pinch it out in odd direction, and Rogue have a chance to rally.
And here comes AJ throwing this ball downfield. Now Rizzo opts to pop this one up. Tried to follow it up. But again, Rogue have done such a good job to control the midfield and the speed to meet G2. This ball just bouncing around. A little disorganized from G2 as players were landing on top of it. It almost panned out for Rogue. Here comes G2 off the back wall looking for a follow-up. It's Rizzo on the shot, but it's weak and wide. And Rogue get bailed out.
Oh, a big miss from Kronovi, though. Thankfully, he's got support from Wonder, so they still break out. Chicago gets a nice little catch off of passing his teammate the ball, and it just tipped right off him, pass into the middle of the box, and they will find the lower right-hand side. They've got 44 on the board and 1 goal to find.
This is a fantastic pass here coming out from Chicago. Patiently moves downfield, and then once he picks up the boost, goes off the back wall, finds his target in the middle of the box. G2 setting up that play perfectly. Now only down by 1 with 44 seconds left.
Pretty neutral kickoff. Might favor Rogue here. Depends who wins this challenge. JNAP's great flip, actually going backwards, understanding the next play was going to come, and he got himself set on the wall. Brilliant defensive effort from him, and thankfully Rogue offer up a bit of space, and it's actually over everyone's head for a moment.
Rogue trying to hold on to their lead, but feeling a lot more pressure from G2 now. Starting to wake up. AJ throws this one away. Was looking for the pass, but G2 are all over it. 10 seconds left for G2. Can they make something happen here, or do Rogue go home with game number 1? AJ just trying to waste time. G2 trying to find the clear into 0-second time now. JNaps has to get a second touch. Here's Rizzo on the dribble. He's got boost to work with. Goes over 1. Can he find the target? Drops down. The shot does come through. But in the end, the save comes out from Rogue. And they take game 1.
JNAP so close. Full stretch to get to that last touch. Unfortunately, since it was so sharp into the ground, he couldn't really get under it, control it. But Rogue, a wonderfully strong start early on in game number 1. A lot of pressure. And they really put Chicago in a ton of tough spots on defense. But this was one that got going back the other way. AJ almost able to find that read. Chicago may not have got the job going on defense, but boy, did he put the ball in the back of the net.
You see the passing play. We've talked about it quite a bit from Rogue. Finding each other downfield and doing such a good job of staying organized as well. And G2, in the end, they keep it close with that play there from Chicago to JNaps. You can see JNaps' family there in the crowd. His dad in the red there. Excited for his team, and G2 go down here in game number 1, and albeit it was close, but the stats don't lie here. Rogue walking away with 9 shots. G2 had to make 5 saves in this series, or excuse me, in this first game.
And it's a much better showing as well. Rogue versus PSG yesterday was not the prettiest series from them. They were under a ton of pressure. PSG kept them locked into their own half pretty much that entire time. So to see them come out here and have a lot more success against G2 bodes well. So Chicago going to have to get that challenge game going. He wasn't particularly satisfied with his performance yesterday. He was very thankful that Rizzo and JNaps, as he said, carried him pretty hard. So Chicago, we'll see if he can get the engine turned over and really get him rolling here in game 2 and get that possession game that has been a staple of his throughout league play.
We'll see if Rogue can replicate the gameplay that they showed us in game number 1, because the way it's gone so far, they've looked in command and in control to get things underway here in game number 2. Already Rogue showing signs of pressure once more. G2 under attack. Immediately always met by a Rogue player here. Here's AJ. Tries to win the challenge there over Rizzo. Kronovi a shot. It does go to the left post. Off the post it comes. Rogue that close to finding the mark there. And still the pressure on Kronovi.
You pick up right where you left off. Actually, you're right. They're not done yet. Perfect bump Wonder from the middle, and Rogue on the board first again.
And this one's all Kronovi. Instead of immediately rotating out, he sees that his teammate has a shot, so he goes for the bump, gets the read on it on the jump, and it's an open net for Wonder to put it away. Rogue once again find the first goal.
Kickoff pending in order for Rogue. Wonder able to come through. JNaps in Chicago. Get a little tongue-tied in the corner, and they're going to have to reset quickly. Chicago, nice kick out to safety and buy some extra moments. Rizzo, space to work with. Nice cut right. Has an option to the left, trying to get through AJ, and a smart play on defense from AJ. Get ready to cut out that pass or deal with the shot. And that transition from G2.
We've said it a few times now, you can really see the game plan coming out from Rogue. Constant pressure, always in the face of G2, not letting them play their game, not letting them get comfortable. Rogue continually in control here through game number 1 and now into game number 2. You can see the pressure coming out from them. Always there to receive it. And they're controlling the boost game as well. G2 left with the scraps. They do break out here, though. JNaps gets the corner boost as well. This one comes off the back wall. AJ there to meet it.
Not quite done yet. Double commit, though, in that corner is going to make it tough to hang on to the ball. But AJ a little sluggish to pick it up. Rizzo off the backboard and saved by Wonder. Kicked out into the corner. Chicago to keep things going. Blasted off the backboard. Follow up too slow. And G2 turned aside a second time. Nobody there for that final touch into the middle. And it'll be G2 once more because Rogue just handed them the ball.
G2 do show signs of life there. Some offensive tries, but still fruitless so far. Approaching halftime in game number 2. Here's Kronovi now into a slight air dribble. He saw Chicago the entire way through, tried to figure out a way around him. Wonder attempts to drop it down for AJ. Now here comes G2. Chicago on the shot. High. The follow-up's there. Can they drop it down? They do. It's Rizzo on the shot, and G2 tie it up.
And well done for G2 to get unstuck from their own half. It looked like you might have a repeat of game number 1 with a lot of pressure from Rogue coming out early on, but a couple of great sequences in the midfield. Rogue hands them the ball one time. They keep the pressure up, find a hole on the backboard, and they get it in.
So it's great that Rogue has all the pressure, but if you can't translate it into goals, it really means nothing. G2 tie this game up without really having too much offense so far. And Rogue once again find themselves in their final third. Here's Kronovi, the flick on. Straight to Rizzo. He has no boost to work with, though, and misses the touch. It'll be given up. Actually given away by Rogue. Kronovi, the long clear. JNaps there to slow it down, but Wonder in that midfield. AJ beats 1. You can see Wonder lurking. AJ still on the ball. He's got 2 in front of him from G2, and it's JNaps who carves that one out. Rogue still on the attack, though. G2 just finding small clears to relieve the pressure momentarily, but not able to break out. Now Kronovi gets a big dunk. It's up to JNaps on the clear, and he does get it out here as AJ passes it across. The shot comes through off the crossbar. Rogue, again, so much pressure coming out. Just can't find the target.
That's that ball really getting stuck in the G2 corners. And Rogue struggling to get out into the middle of the field. When it finally got out there, they got a shot opportunity off, but it's just G2 trying their best to keep the ball close. Double tap off the backboard. Back post, bounces around, and that'll get kicked out. Wonder able to react in time and kick it to safety, but G2 under pressure for a while, almost just go the length of the field on a couple touches.
That shot comes through, almost sneaks by. And it does sneak by. It's Rizzo who just lobs it over the defense of Rogue. Everyone was beat in the end, and G2 late in game 2 take a lead.
Yeah, he was kind of just waiting, reading that clear from Kronovi, but far enough back that after Kronovi missed it, was able to make the adjustment on the weak clear out into the middle. Just punch it home into the top. And G2 with a lead in game 2.
2 players missed the clear there on Rogue, and then everyone pushes up on that challenge, which opens up the space behind them. Rizzo smart enough to pop it up and over. G2 trying to hang on to a lead now after experiencing quite a bit of pressure here from Rogue. Now in return, G2 finding themselves more on offense. There's a shot to the left side. It's Chicago to build a 2-goal lead.
Big play, huge insurance for G2. Wonder it's a lot to ask off that backboard. Really needed it to come more into the middle of the pitch. Unfortunately, rolled right around the top and came straight back out. And that's it. Is always going to be a tough one to get to when you're going up backwards. And they just can't hang. Rogue are now really going to have to force something here.
A couple mistakes there from Rogue on the defensive end. G2 definitely taking advantage here in game number 2. Kronovi and AJ trying to work some magic here in the final 30 seconds. JNaps met by Kronovi. Now Wonder up. Quite a bit of challenges at the top of the box there at the G2 side. Rogue always there. Here's Kronovi. Can't get the touch. G2 trying to find a way out. Trying to stay alive for the last 10 seconds here. Rogue's offense have slowed down quite a bit here in the latter half of game number 2, and we're not going to see much more of it. Kronovi trying to get one last goal. It's going to go to G2 either way. We got ourselves a tie series.
And it really did feel like it was just Rogue not able to have that same success passing the ball, finding people to go with. And G2, they did a great job. Chicago right there, JNaps, Rizzo, all of them trying to keep the ball as close as possible whenever it got stuck in their corner. They were always able to have somebody go out there and go make a touch. And finally, this was that first goal. Kronovi, great bump. Opened the door wide for Wonder, but after that, it was just balls into the corner and a couple of great double taps from G2.
G2 did a great job of speeding up the game and finding their mark here, and that was a shot coming down from JNaps, and this was the one that 2 went from Rogue. And then AJ just pushing up to try and challenge, but couldn't get there in time, and Rizzo, again, just popping it up and over. So give credit to G2. They did great to stay in this game and slowly ramp up in game 2. They looked great near the end.
Yeah, and Rizzo continuing his involvement on the offensive side of things. He only hasn't been involved in 2 of the goals so far that G2 have scored. They've scored 5. So it's good to see him continue to have that productivity over on that side of the pitch. And of course, Rogue looked to have a little more success, and it really did just feel like you got to win the challenge game because they got that ball stuck in that G2 corner, but they were never really winning.
Well, it's funny because I feel like they were winning the challenge game, but they weren't really putting shots on target. They only had 5.
Yeah.
With all that pressure, you feel like they had more, so we'll see what changes they make here in game number 3. A tie series here between G2 and Rogue. JNaps immediately off the kickoff wins a challenge there in the midfield, and G2 on the attack here, trying to find the first goal. Can JNaps whips around? He can, but Rogue getting in the way. A big bump comes out from Rizzo, but AJ does well to stay with the play, and Rogue able to break it down and get out.
Great adaptation from Rogue there. That was a lot of pressure getting sent at you off the kickoff. And now a chance, but they missed the touch, and that means Chicago going to stop that shot from AJ before it really went anywhere. Also lands right under him, takes it off it, controls his own corner boost, and that's going to stunt that G2 push. So Rogue, nice idea from Wonder, keep it close, beat 1, and here's really where maybe Rogue can get something going. Cheeky bump, but needs help.
AJ, last man back. Big demo comes out from Wonder to open up that sideline wall. Rogue given the midfield once more, and Wonder thought he had someone on the left. It's cut out by G2. Kronovi was all the way back. So now G2's turn to control the midfield and have a chance. Chicago steals away that boost, goes to the ceiling. Trying to make something happen there. Everyone gets out from G2, and Rogue throw it downfield.
So those long clears, here's that pass game, but now it's just not being executed properly.
Everyone.
Beautiful demo, and still saved. Kronovi somehow able to make it back, kick it off the post, and saved.
JNaps did everything right. He just couldn't get a hold of the ball there on the goal line. It was a tough one. He didn't realize it was going to land in his lap like that. And Kronovi, heroic saves, but here Chicago drops it down for JNaps. The play was set up. Execution not there. G2 that close to getting the goal.
Still more pressure. High tip into the corner. Actually, Chicago lets that one go to take it away from Rogue, and JNaps aiming for the right-hand post, top of the box. Chicago circling, but nothing really going to happen here for G2. Rogue looks set.
Rogue are panicking on defense. All 3 players were in the corner there, and again, they all get sucked into that left side corner. G2 not able to capitalize, but the positioning suspect on defense so far. G2 have looked good in game 3. Haven't been able to convert.
A little worried there. That double commit, not the strongest clear from G2. Nice touch from Kronovi. They take it away from 2, and it's through everybody. They kind of just both jump at this second touch from Kronovi, and they don't have time to recover.
They got beat. They didn't expect Kronovi to get that second touch, and 2 go, and double commit comes out from G2. Kronovi makes them pay. So Rogue on the board first here.
Kind of out of nowhere, too. You really thought G2 was going to be able to find the back of the net, but considering how much early pressure they put on, so despite Rogue having to scramble a little bit on defense, they break out, get a great transition, and now with a lead about halfway through, can they hang on?
All 3, G2's up. It's an open net for AJ. Can he put it on target? That one looks wide. It was wide open for him. Rogue couldn't convert. Everyone was committed from G2. And now the pressure's on. G2, a great pass across, but it's a missed shot from Chicago. Just wide of the net. Still G2 pressing on.
It's a tight window. Both AJ and Wonder were rotating back into the net there. They didn't have many options for how to clear that ball, and just a very small gap to shoot through for Chicago. Couldn't slip it in. But they do win another challenge, and he's going to apply the pressure here in the corner. Not able to find the touch. Wonder trying to get in the face of everybody, and Kronovi can't reach the shot from Rizzo, and they will tie things up.
And Kronovi just not expecting that one to go up and over his head. And you can see Kronovi on this shot. He was near post, and that one put back post high. It's a tough angle to save. Rizzo, great placement from him. And G2 able to tie it up, and it's Rizzo again who's getting that goal. We'll kick things back off in a tie game in game 3. AJ trying to get a flip reset there. G2 defense able to get this one out. Rizzo, a great touch to the top of the box. G2 finding more and more time here on their final third. Here's Rizzo. 2 go from Rogue, so a big clear needed from AJ. Rogue not showing as much pressure as they showed in the first 2 games. G2 definitely seem like they've woken up a little bit here. Here comes Rizzo across. He does get the demo. JNAPS has an open shot. He puts it just high. Chicago can't follow that one up with that bounce off the crossbar. Rogue get bailed out.
The cost of precision. JNAPS was aiming for the place where it was going to be most unlikely to be saved, and he just overdid it. Second chance, and making sure to get it on target went too low that time.
And G2 still the attack on. Rizzo's there. The shot goes through, and G2 in the lead lane.
Keep things going. Double commit in the net. Bounces right out to the corner. Wonder wanted the boost first. Unfortunately, he didn't even get that. And a tough block for AJ to make. And again, Rizzo shooting placement under and to the left-hand side. It's a tough stop to make. Can't get there. And they'll get it through.
And that's a G2 offense that we know if you're a G2 fan. The constant pressure, the passing plays across, especially the top of the box. They love it. But how about a dunk from AJ out of nowhere? You weren't expecting it. You thought G2 was going to get this one out, but AJ comes flying out of nowhere. Rizzo can't get the touch.
Solid read.
What a read from him. Bro, just like that. We were singing G2 praises, and AJ puts a stop to that. Ties it up for Rogue. The kickoff goes back in favor of Rogue, and a big miss comes out. It's AJ again, punishing G2.
We said he was the big guy yesterday. Continues to deliver. Monster clear from Kronovi. Rizzo, actually kind of the same thing yesterday. Long clears from Greasymeister off the back wall.
Yeah.
This one in a pretty similar spot. Kronovi blasts one off the side wall, pretty close to the back of the pitch, and right over his head. And so Rogue might be able to come away with a victory here, unless G2 come up with a stunner.
A roller coaster of a game for both these teams. Rogue didn't look good in the beginning, and all of a sudden they find themselves in the lead. G2 now having some opportunity on offense. Everyone committed. Wonder does well to get that bump on the defender, and now downfield, Kronovi's there. Can he get the second touch? He does. But it goes just high. Rogue happy just to see this one out. 5 seconds left. G2's last chance. The shot comes through. It's high, and there's just no follow-up there. Rogue are going to take game 3 and put G2 on match point.
And it could have gone the other way, honestly. So many close opportunities. Chicago wasn't able to find the left-hand side. JNAPS missing the top left corner by just inches. But that's the price you pay when you're trying to be perfect. A great demo to start things off for him, but that save from Kronovi, that's just another one. That's
tough because he had no boost and he just picked up that pad, and then this second touch from Kronovi punishes not only the double commit, but nobody respecting that he could get that touch there from G2. And then this pass out. This is just bread and butter from G2. Those angles out towards the top of the box to a man oncoming in the middle of the field. It's what G2 does so well. It's the speed of execution, and it's that man who's always on the receiving end.
Yeah, Chicago quality start today, number 2, considering yesterday that we got to see from him. So well done getting things turned over and ready to go, but unfortunately not able to come up with the win there despite holding, I would say, the majority of the pressure. And well done for Rogue to keep things up. A lot of tough stops, not able to stop some of the more dangerous ones, but you take what you're given. And they gave you a couple of missed opportunities, and then you go and punish them back the other way. You come out with a win and put them on match point. So Rogue looking for vengeance for league play, and G2, it's going to be a long road back.
And that was, I said it, a roller coaster of a game 3. Seeing if emotions get reset here in game number 4. Rogue, 1 win away from moving on. Kickoff. Pops up by AJ. G2 there to meet it. The big clear comes out. It's JNAP's back. Rogue hunting. This one's going to drop down, and a shot from AJ blocked from JNAP's. Good read by him, and still a follow-up there from Rogue, but unable to make the touches. Kronovi
got lucky too. G2 is pretty low on boost. If that was high in the net, it was going to be dangerous. And just trying to make as much with as little as possible. They finally find that long clear. Some time to grab boost for G2 here. Pass into the middle. JNAP's a little too slow. Rizzo will buy some time.
A great pass out. Rizzo saw he had support to his right. Here comes G2. Chicago, he's there. The shot blocked away by Rogue. Good read there by Wonder, but still G2 pressing on. This one's coming across the box. Chicago was there. Rogue just barely getting the touch on it to break it up. Rizzo, late to this one, beat by Wonder. Rogue looking to close out the series. Big win there by AJ, just to slow things down. Wonder still here on low boost.
Wonder wanted that corner boost to spawn, but it didn't. So he went all the way forward to grab that boost off the midfield line. It's kind of allowed G2 some extra space to work with here. It's got them a possession. Backboard touch. Wonder lets it bounce, and he might be too slow. Thankfully able to get there in time. Pass upfield. JNAP's actually a dangerous tip, and mercifully not straight down. Allows him to get a much easier read.
And Rogue were right there as well. So speedy downfield. This one will be tough to deal with from AJ. He does pop it up nicely. Here's Rizzo, though, to drop that one down. He does have support from JNAP's. Chicago lurking in the backfield, trying to slow things down. Here comes Rogue. Kronovi looking for the bump on Rizzo. Can't get it. Here's AJ. A big miss, though, will slow down that attack from Rogue. And now it's G2's turn. JNAP's trying to make something happen. He's got all of Rogue surrounding him. Chicago just waiting for this ball to land. He takes that one away.
Oh, wanted that pass off the side wall, and well read by AJ to take it away, but actually Rizzo kind of gets bumped into position. Gentle lift into the midfield. Got a boom off, and that will be into the back of the net. What a play for Rizzo.
Wow, Rizzo, what a play from him, like you said, and a great half flip to get that boost. It's what allows him to pull off this play. Gets the big bump, passes it out. JNAP's there to put it away. G2, a spectacular play to start off game 4.
That one just annoys you if you're on Rogue too. You bump Rizzo and you're like, great, Rizzo's out of the play, and then the ball just goes right in that perfect direction, and he makes a huge play off of it. But now a transition for Rogue, bounced off the backboard. Kronovi not able to go for the pass into the middle, but there's the second effort and stolen away. And now AJ not able to get a clean touch, back behind him, and it will not roll in again. Kronovi.
Wow, another big save coming out from Kronovi. Second time in this series in Rogue. While they're making the saves, they can't find any goals here so far. Here's JNAP's. No boost. Gonna have to give up on that one. AJ into an air dribble. Got plenty of boost. The follow-up's there, but it's just high. And Rogue got to be careful not to commit too far. AJ racing back with no boost. Does make the block here. Still dangerous, though. It's JNAP's who's up, tries to drop this one down. Rizzo avoiding the challenge. Kronovi. Now AJ. Scary in a solo situation. Does bring it up past one. Can't beat two. And now Wonder. He's got JNAP's hunting him down. G2 looking to extend this lead. A ball just floating at the top of the box. Kronovi on the goal line. Who else for Rogue? And Wonder clears it to his own corner. JNAP's a pass across.
Oh, way to sniff it out.
Clear comes through, and it goes in for Kronovi, doing everything for Rogue here in game 4. He finds one and he ties it up.
Understanding. Kronovi saw that pass coming a mile away, right out to the middle, and just took it off the nose of G2 and straight into the back of the net. We were talking maybe Rogue needs to be careful not to push too far. G2 have also shown a little bit of a weakness since we've seen them start playing here in Dallas. And Rogue, in particular, Kronovi will capitalize on it. Back wall and cleared away by JNAP's.
So a minute left. We're tied up. Rogue a chance off the back wall. Here's Rizzo. I think he was going for the pass, but didn't make contact. Chicago a big whiff. Everyone whiffs from Rogue there. Now Wonder. Not able to follow that one up. Kronovi just looking for the pass back here to AJ, who does well. A worthy sacrifice for the long clear. JNaps on the touch for G2.
Oh, Kronovi's on the wall. It's dangerous.
Chicago's there. The shot comes through, and it goes off the crossbar. It's bouncing on the goal line. G2's right there, but so is Rogue, and AJ makes the save.
They had him tied up. They were locked on the back wall. Rogue was at G2's mercy, and they didn't execute again.
So now Rogue, their chance downfield. 15 seconds left. G2 pressing on here. This shot is going to go on target. Kronovi's there. G2 trying to slow down the counter. Everyone getting a touch here. It's bouncing towards the G2 corner. Do Rogue have one last shot? No, it's going to be Chicago downfield. Maybe G2 has it, and a long shot comes through. Still G2 hunting. Are we going to overtime?
All right, you have time, Chicago. Okay.
And a smart play from Chicago to let that one go. You had your chance downfield with the long shot.
Don't overdo it.
Just forced the overtime and maybe a kickoff goal. That one does go wide. G2 right back to work here on offense for on the Rogue side.
And wonder to Kronovi, maybe we get to see that Rogue passing. They start to again congeal into one corner of the pitch. And thankfully able to sort themselves out, hang on to the ball for a few moments, but that space given from Rogue, a little timid on the approach, and now G2 pushing to start off the offense, and no help in the midfield. Kronovi easily clears it.
Rizzo has done a great job in the corner of beating that first defender. And sure, his pass went out towards Rogue, but just beating that first defender opens up the opportunity for G2 to have a chance on target. As JNaps throws this one to the Rogue side. Met by AJ. And again, a third touch from him. Nobody there from Rogue to follow up. Stalemate midfield here. Kronovi going backwards with no boost, still somehow getting touches. This one off the back wall. Rogue's there. Chicago. Now JNaps tries to cut one, pays for it. Here's Rizzo. Gets faked by Wonder. Wonder trying to go under another one. It was Chicago on the attack, and Kronovi's forced to go to his own corner. Rizzo does read it out, though. Here comes JNaps. G2 looking stronger on offense. Now Rogue's turn.
They were pretty close to maybe having a nice pass into the midfield there. And great timing out of the midfield to lock G2 in, and maybe some boost starve coming out. Rizzo to relieve a bit of pressure. But Chicago has to give away that corner boost to play the ball, and Kronovi almost just dunks it right through him. Overtime continues as it skitters off the post.
Almost 2 minutes into a Game 4 overtime. G2 knows what a loss here means. JNaps trying to drop this one down. All of Rogue was tracking the play to see what he would do with it. The pass comes across. Rogue doing such a good job of not letting those lateral passes be uncontested from G2. JNaps takes the corner boost, tries to get a touch. Now Rizzo.
Nice double demo.
Can Rizzo find one across? They do. They tie up the series after just 2.5 minutes.
Similar to yesterday, they find the demo again on the net. Rizzo just makes sure to buy the time, make sure the door's open, and Chicago is tasked with finding the back of the net. This time he will not be denied. And 2 minutes and 24 seconds in, they force game number 5. So well done, G2. You stuck with it. You've had some issues with accuracy, but that one you're able to sneak by. And so it is, of course, game 5. And that actually, I think, hurts Rogue a little bit because they've been playing. It's been knockdown, drag-out fight.
Yeah, you know what this means when you've gone to game 5 with G2. We saw the last time it happened. They came out victorious. We've seen it many times before. Can they do it against this Rogue roster who seem to be on the decline, at least in offensive pressure throughout this series? It seems like G2 have sort of started to figure them out a little bit.
Yes, and that is the great danger. But Rogue still, the biggest thing so far is making sure they hold on to the ball whenever they get it on their half, because they're forced often into those really long clears. And that's good. It relieves a lot of pressure, but it does limit your ability to control the ball and pace of play. They got plenty of shots on target, and Kronovi, I must say, is having one heck of a series, along with AJ. But unfortunately, not able to come away with a victory in game number 4 and round things out. So I don't think we've seen G2 lose game 5 all season long. And so I would be remiss to bet against them here.
Well, if you know Kronovi, you know that he would love to hand G2 not only a loss, but a loss in game 5. He'd be happy to do it. So we'll find out. We'll send him to game 5.
So how does the defense of Rogue handle this G2 offense that's going to be coming at him? It's been back and forth. A lot of passes being sniffed out both ways. And let's see the final 5.
Ball's bouncing in the midfield here. G2, another demo. It's been working for them throughout the series. Kronovi with low boost here. Good challenge. Lets AJ come through. Rogue would really like to have that first goal here. G2 have kind of taken the advantage late in this series. Here's AJ. Plenty of boost for an air dribble here. He will opt to go for it. JNaps can't get to this ball, so Rogue, that pressure that we saw early on coming alive here in the face of G2. AJ across the box. Wonder trying to drop that one down. Kronovi's there to support. He will pick it up. A good read by Chicago. Over to JNaps. Here's AJ. Downfield for Rogue. He's got no boost to work with. He buys enough time for Rogue to push down.
And so much space as well. And you always get that sense of slight timidness in that game 5. But Rogue currently winning the offensive pressure battle. And G2 just trying to find a small hole to work with. Wonder taking his time, forces JNaps up late. AJ blasts one backboard and Wonder's too close. Follow-up from Kronovi, has a lot to pick from. And top save from JNaps, able to kick it in to the corner. Close call, another one dished out to the middle, but stolen away. And G2 are finally out.
The Rogue has the first couple chances here on target. G2 now trying to set something up. Chicago went out wide to pull that one back around. Couldn't do so. Here's Wonder. It's actually a pass. Chicago read him perfectly on that clear. Kronovi can't get the second touch, but Wonder comes through to help him out. Rogue back onto offense, drops it down, but AJ gets demoed. He was coming through for the shot, and G2 take that away.
Scramble, but well played by Rizzo, and AJ will be uncontested on the clear. So once more into the neutral game, team's going to battle for possession here at the midfield line. Wonder making it as difficult as possible for JNaps to go up and get that ball, allowing Kronovi to come in and take it.
And here they come. AJ can't get a hold of it. It'll be Kronovi now, trying to find that back wall. G2 struggling to get up to it. They do make the save, but maybe not in the fashion they would like. Chicago, great first touch. Tries to find JNaps. He's there. The touch goes wide into the corner. Now Kronovi over Rizzo. Does well to just stay with this ball and push it downfield. Beats 2 now. G2 ran into each other. Shot comes through. Not able to find the target is Rogue.
And this is getting bleak for G2. They've spent, it feels like, the entire 2 minutes on defense. Oh, nice little tip, but out of the range of Rizzo. And one of the brief forays that they've been able to accomplish in game number 5 on offense. But still, they persist and are hanging on defense. But G2 might have something here. Pass off the corner. JNaps and Rizzo definitely can't quite get there. Chicago tracking back and into the safety of his corner.
Less than 2 minutes left. Still a tied game. Both teams have had a couple chances on target. Kronovi, that one just wide. G2 will watch that one go, and onto the counterattack now. That right side of the field was open. Wonder was on the left here, and now in midfield, everyone running into each other, and this one just popped up by JNaps. Rizzo's there. He does get the dunk on AJ. AJ with no boost, just trying to muscle that one out of his own corner. Rogue feeling a bit of pressure here. Chicago gets removed from the play, so that'll slow down G2, but not if Rizzo can get an air dribble. Stopped up by AJ. Still at G2, pressing on, and a big miss might open it up. Rogue able to bail themselves out. Here's JNaps, a big drive. Saved away.
And here's all that pressure that G2 hasn't been able to get in game 5. Little bump on. That'll be it. JNaps bumps Kronovi out of the way and gets the second effort into the net.
This is a fantastic play from JNaps because he only had about 40 boosts to work with. Gets the bump, pushes the ball across, and then slams it home in Wonder's face. 49 seconds left in game 5, and JNaps comes up clutch.
What are you going to do, Rogue? How's the kickoff work? Straight out to the side. Both teams following up. AJ has to make some adjustments on that one, but time's ticking now.
Here's Rogue. They to give the ball away to G2. Wander now over to Kronovi. Good touch out. Maybe a chance for Rogue here. G2 with enough boost and positioning to get this one out. Here comes JNaps with no boost. This one's gonna just drop off the crossbar. Rogue still alive, but scrambling on their own side. Big save from Kronovi, but they can't do it one more time. It's JNaps coming through once again.
Gut-wrenching for Rogue. Well done from Chicago to keep it high. Kronovi, you took your time, you made the right play, but finally, too many people with too many opportunities, and G2 deliver the dagger.
17 seconds left. And it might be all but over here for Rogue. Chicago trying to play this one out. It'll be Rizzo there to receive it. Rogue haven't really shown that offense that we saw earlier on in the series. And in the end, it will be G2 taking down Rogue in a wild series here. And this is just the first game of the day.
And what a way to open up day 2. I absolutely agree. JNaps, some well-deserved high fives to Chicago, picked himself up a little bit. Rizzo continuing that involvement, 9 out of 11. And it's good to see a ton of you guys out here this morning.
A packed house for a well-deserved game here. Fantastic game, really, between both these teams. In the beginning, it felt like Rogue really had G2's number, but slowly but surely, G2 started to figure them out, adapt. And that's what leads them to a Game 5 victory.
A repeat, of how league play worked.
Well, we've got more. Oh.
Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen, to day number 2 of the DreamHack Pro Circuit, where we just concluded the series between G2 and Rogue. And it was a not only story-driven one, but a very competitive back-and-forth match for both sides.
That is how you start DreamHack day number 2 right there. That series was insane. It had everything. Went to game number 5. Clutch moments from both sides. It just can't get any better.
I don't even know how to summarize that because it was so back and forth. Every single game, it felt like one team was dominating, and then it would just completely flip as the games progressed.
I think one thing, that we were talking about before the series that actually started was, how much impact we had on the offensive front coming out from Rizzo and how much we didn't get from other members like Chicago that we expected. And I feel like that trend continued here, even with this series.
The one thing I love from Chicago was the wall pass, and he would attack those corners and feed the ball perfectly to the middle for Rizzo or JNaps. And then, so I felt JNaps very weak early on in the series,
Yeah.
but then he came alive in game number 5, and that's just showing that JNaps at any moment can pop off.
And the thing I want to emphasize is the crashing skill from Rizzo. Every time, like you said, Chicago would be on the walls, the way he would crash and the timing he would come in to finish the shot was perfect. Rizzo, it seemed like he was rotating perfectly and had a lot of great shots.
You know, if they were to reflect anything here on the side of Rogue too, though, because like it was not like it was easy. I mean, especially I feel like Kronovi had some very huge moments here for the roster.
I'm pretty sure the top speed of Crow's car was a little bit faster than everyone else. Some desperate saves that he's coming out of nowhere from off screen to get. He was playing out of his mind once again, trying to carry this team to victory. But all 3 players really stepped up. But I thought G2's possession game was fantastic. They had way more scoring opportunities. It was a very close battle. And G2, for a little bit there, had those scoring opportunities, couldn't score them. But they were getting so many chances because of that possession.
And I don't want to take away from AJ here, who just was the man of the hour, popping off with so many great shots as well. And it was just honestly a team effort from both sides. But Kronovi here with the insane flip follow.
The best part, he beats JNaps and Rizzo on that play. His 2 former teammates there. But like it went to game 5 again. Back at RLCS week number 2, 0-0 game 5 overtime. But this time G2 pulls it out. Right here, Wonder as well. We haven't talked about him a lot. That read off the backboard coming from the like side angle. Such a difficult play. And then we see another play here from G2. It goes off the crossbar, but this pass off the ceiling from Chicago.
That was so
perfectly placed. And Rizzo, he's been closing out a lot. He didn't get the closeout there, but he got the juicy rebound for his teammate JNaps.
And to no surprise, joining us here up at the desk representing for G2 is going to be none other than Rizzo himself. Rizzo, there's been a lot of talk throughout the entirety of Season 7 of when's he going to stop getting it, you know, being the third man and being more involved in the offense. In this tournament, I feel like you are heavily answering the call. What has, you know, been happening to make that happen here?
We've been working a lot in scrims on just being more aggressive. Specifically, and stuff like that is every time we're in a match or something, we always remind ourselves of how we're playing in scrims and what we should be doing in that sense.
So what has that transition been like for the defensive side of the ball? Because sometimes we see maybe some more wide open nets that we didn't see throughout the RLCS. Like, are you guys like trying to find that balance still?
That's kind of the trade-off, I guess, when we're going full ball chasing or whatever. When we're playing super aggressive, is sometimes we'll leave an empty net and we realize that's a mistake. But when we do it more and more and we practice that, we're going to learn how to fix it.
Yeah, and with the open nets, how do you guys not, you know, get tilted or emotional whenever you see like a missed opportunity? What's the key there?
If the other team scores an open net, it's not really like we know what the mistake was, and we know that most of the time they're scoring an open net, the enemy team, because our defense is usually fairly well, or we do fairly well on defense. So.
And typically in, you know, high tense moments and kind of competitive, it seems like the biggest thing is keeping yourself objective, right? Like not let the emotions of that moment come into play. Who is the person who's really trying to set themselves and have that happen? Because it feels like it's usually difficult to remind everyone, hey, you know, this is what we're trying to make happen. This is what we're trying to activate on the field.
If somebody gets frustrated, I think it's more so like if I were to get frustrated, somebody else. It's never like one person. It's just whoever was or whoever wasn't the one making the mistake. You're just like, it's all good, buddy. Don't worry about it.
That's great. Great teamwork and great camaraderie there coming out from G2. And I would argue probably the reason they were able to eke ahead here against Rogue. We are going to go to a commercial break here. But when